I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. You all came here.
Just like orange.
You all came here. Exactly. You all came here to Israel to learn about agriculture because Israel is famous for its agriculture. Correct?
Yes.
Correct. When the Jews first came to Israel, they didn't know anything. They weren't farmers. Jews in Europe weren't allowed to have land. They couldn't own land. It was illegal. So all their professions were the types of profession that you can pack in a bag and move to the next city. Like a doctor, or a jeweler, or a grocery. Okay? They came to Israel and said, now this is our land. This is the first time in 2,000 years that we have our own country. We can own land. We can grow. We can be farmers. All right? So it was extremely important for them to purchase land. Now, who owned the land when they came here? The local people. The local Arabs, they owned the land. And they grew sustenance crops. They didn't have sophisticated technology. They didn't have sophisticated irrigation. They grew the crops that they can grow with rainwater that provided them enough food. It was mostly wheat, a few vegetables, occasional vineyard, and grass for sheep. When the Jews came, the Arabs sold them the worst possible land they could. They sold them the land that you couldn't grow anything on it. Because they didn't need it. And if they didn't need it, they can sell it. And the Jews didn't know anything about agriculture. So they paid a huge amount of money for worthless land. How stupid, right? That worthless land was composed mostly of sand. It was this kind of land. The reason the Arabs didn't use this land is because sandy soil can't retain rainwater for a long time. It can only hold a small amount of water. What it does have is a lot of air, because it has very big holes. With me? Okay, so the first things the Jews tried to do, they looked around them, they saw what the Arabs grow around them, and they said, right, if this is what they grow, then this is the best thing to grow around here, let's try and do the same thing. Did it work? No. How could it work? They had the land that didn't fit. Okay? Luckily for us, a very important person in the history of Israel called Rothschild was a big philanthropist, and he took agronomists from France and he sent them over here to teach us how to grow crops and agriculture. These agronomists immediately saw that the soil wasn't appropriate for the type of crops that they would grow. And they told them, let's try and grow something else. They tried a few things that didn't work very well, and then they tried oranges. Oranges love sandy soil, providing you give them enough water. As long as you irrigate them often enough and not trust rainwater. You use, in the beginning they had wells, they pumped the wells, they had open ditches, and somebody would stand with a hoe and open the hole for the tree, and then when it filled up, he would close it and move to the next tree. One person would irrigate maybe 400 trees in a whole day. It was a very slow and ineffective process. But that was the beginning of irrigation in Israel. And what's the situation now? We grow citrus in these supposedly bad lands, and we make a lot of money. And to be extremely rude, the very same Arabs work for us. Got it? There is no such thing as good, perfect soil. There is a specific condition and what you're going to do with it. Just like each and every one of you have potential that you can use or not. None of you have to use it. You can be born the smartest person in the world to the cruelest father who won't let you out of the house. So you got huge potential. You never used it.